the front desk chat that knew my name. The hotel text came to her phone, but my watch flashed it first, because we are modern and foolish. A pale banner bloomed over the screen while I was drying a pan. Front desk, Astor Residences. A preview line followed like a waiter with a second tray. Hi Lena, extra toothbrush for Noah will be waiting at 1908. Anything else before you arrive? I stared until the bubble dissolved back into the wallpaper, the one she chose, the photo of our kitchen bathed in 7 p.m. kindness. The pan in my hand squeaked. My name looked wrong in that sentence, like a cameo I hadn't agreed to play. Lena was studio late. She had texted at 6 with the shorthand we invented back when our phones were helpful and not narrators. Running lines, don't wait, kiss you before sleep. She designs light the way architects design math. I make rooms honest for a living. Sound is just truth with manners. It's a funny joke God plays, pairing us with jobs that punish dishonesty and tempt it. On her iPad, the notification lived longer than on my wrist. I touched it before I told myself not to. Astor's chat opened into professionalism, anodyne little bubbles and the slick avatar of someone named Grace. Above, a transcript line by line. Grace at Astor. Good evening, Lena. Confirming late check-in for 1908. We'll have extra toothbrush for Noah. Would you prefer sparkling or still? Lena, still. Dim the room if you can. Grace, of course, anything else. A tiny blue ellipsis blinked, waiting for something I didn't want transcribed. I put the iPad down like it might burn. Then I picked it back up because character is a muscle and mine had decided to be terrible at lifting. If I scrolled, I would be the kind of person who rummages in glove boxes and pockets, and the part of me trained by good parents said don't. The part trained by a door that sticks if you don't push first said do. There wasn't more, just the chat and below the hotel's polite footer. This line is monitored 24/7. For emergencies, dial 0. I locked the screen, put the iPad exactly where it had been, and made a pot of tea we would not drink. At 8:13, the lock turned. The hallway light wrote its thin yellow under the door like a reporter. Lena stepped in with hair pinned and the specific fatigue she gets when she has held a room up by herself too long. She saw my face the way the city sees a storm. She set her bag down and did the brave thing I married her for, came close enough to fail without running. You saw it, she said. I saw Grace promise my toothbrush at 1908, I said. I wash my words. I use them dry. She exhaled in a way that didn't try to make me comfort her. Kitchen or small room? She asked. The small room is where the ugly lamp lives and our written rules hang like a second spine. The kitchen is where we keep knives and mercy. Here, I said, let the refrigerator listen. She leaned on the counter with both palms like she was promising the wood she would be gentle with it even if she couldn't with me. Astor inherited a wall I need to resuscitate, she said. Theo insisted I see it after hours. He's the kind of man rooms shape themselves around and mistake that for character. He booked 1908 so we could hear the wall in a live interior. He asked what you'd need if you came later, and I said a toothbrush because I didn't want to kill the fiction yet. Then I came here. I didn't go up. What did you want? The question likes to be a weapon. I offered it like a chair. To see whether the part of me that says yes in hotels is finally dead, she said. She is. She's weak. She can be negotiated with. Did you kiss him? I asked, because there's a thin strand of kindness in not making people volunteer the noun. Once, she said, in the lobby because I wanted to see if the light would forgive us. It didn't. He tasted like someone else's idea of me. It confirmed a diagnosis I didn't savor paying for. Do you want him? The word want is a scalpel if you hold it right. No, she said. I want to be a person who can walk into a room and not fix it. He impersonates that hour. You are it. We stood without touching, expensive with our breath. I took the takeout menu we've turned into a constitution off the fridge and uncapped the pen that lives in the sugar bowl. Truth before concierge, I wrote. She nodded and added beneath, small and steady. If a building thinks it can say your name to me, I say your name first here. I wrote, if you think you need to kiss someone to learn you don't want them, tell me before your mouth does field work. She underlined tell, twice, as if we both needed to see the admonition in her handwriting. Storm or quiet, she asked, and the smallest tremor ran through her jaw. Code. People think code is an adolescent trick. It's a life jacket. Quiet, I said. Then whatever weather washes the room but doesn't drown us. We ate the cold noodles standing up. After, she came around the counter and set her mouth beneath my ear where grammar resigns. I took her face in both hands, and she made the noise that always resets the apartment's sense of purpose. She climbed onto the counter with the competence of someone who builds equipment and the hunger of someone who refuses to be a device. We moved carefully because spectacle is flirting with strangers, greedily because appetite is the only honest piety I know. We stopped before our bodies tried to make policy. We rested forehead to forehead. The ugly lamp admired us for not auditioning. In bed, the phone on her nightstand glowed. She turned it face down and slid across the mattress until my chest had a task again. I told Grace to cancel, she murmured, and to assign 1908 to the person who actually needs it tonight, the night auditor who forgets to drink water. She used too many exclamation points, but the wall will forgive her. In the morning, theory wanted work. I tuned a lobby that thought bass was sophistication and taught it to like air better. Lena built a sequence for a museum that wanted light to grieve without lying. At lunch, the phone buzzed in my pocket with Astor's courteous farewell. We missed you last night. Come back soon. I sent it to trash, which is what you do with a machine that tries to write your diary. 2 days later, the doorbell tried names again. Recognized visitor, it boasted, and put my own under our mail carrier. I laughed in the doorway alone because it's easier to be kind to metal than to yourself. That night, Lena found me in the small room and kissed me with the formula we invented during our year of stupid. 2 for survival, 1 for luck. We added a rule in her pen. If a lobby asks for my mouth, it doesn't get it. Kitchen has first refusal. Of course, the city is a petty matchmaker. We saw Theo at a donor's night where wine tried to be personality. He approached with a face rehearsing humility and almost getting cast. The wall sings, he said to Lena. We tuned it, she said, and didn't move her eyes toward me because she trusts me not to need directing. He nodded, the kind of bow you do when you realize you're a noun. He left like a man who has learned finally to use the front door and not the back. Later, at home, under the ugly lamp, we did the precise work of wanting each other on purpose. She climbed into my lap like a person who doesn't apologize for gravity. I let my hands learn again the map of a body that isn't a room to be fixed, but a country to be visited as if borders were sacred. Her breath changed beneath my mouth. We stopped while stopping was extravagant instead of scared. The next test came stupid and shiny, as tests do. My watch tapped twice while I coaxed the kettle, and the screen printed a new trick: calendar boarding group. Waverly House had added a key to wallet again because iPads sulk when they're remembered. I brought it to her without asking the device to feel shame. She unlocked the screen with her face and met my eyes after, which is a move we have written into our own constitution. Look at me before you look at it. We can do a thing, she said. The thing where we go together in daylight, make the concierge say your name to me, and duepenize a crest. I want our names in our kitchen more than on their icons, I said. Then add kitchen warm to your favorites, she said, smiling barely, and teach the room a better shortcut. We wrote another rule. If a building wants to anticipate me, it can wait like everything else. Work was a merciful animal for a while. The city forgot our faces and looked past us to someone else's drama. We bought a basil plant we cannot keep alive. We argued about flour and kissed in grocery aisles because children were watching and heterosexuals need to be good at something. At 1:04 a.m., when my heart wants an enemy, Lena put her palm at the back of my neck and said, "Quiet," against my skin, and the storm decided to rehearse elsewhere. Then the front desk chat came again with such flawless timing I almost admired it. "Just checking in," Grace wrote at 5:47 p.m. "Tomorrow still good for wall viewing." Lena typed with the particular scissor blade she keeps polished for bureaucracy. "No more after hours. Send me photos. Schedule the team. No room. And please remove any names that are not mine from my profile." Grace sent a bouquet of apologies. "Consider it done." I watched the bubbles shrink and thought about names. Machines love them because classification feels like accuracy. Marriage hates them when they arrive uninvited because classification feels like theft. Our compromise is prehistoric. We say them out loud in the kitchen first. We failed once anyway because people are slippery. A week later, I found a cocktail napkin in the glove box with Vireo's crest and a phone number in a loopy hand I didn't recognize. My chest tried an old trick and mostly failed at it. I carried the napkin upstairs like evidence and laid it on the counter without melodrama. Lena held it the way you hold a thing that isn't yours and will cut you if you pretend otherwise. "Eliza wrote that," she said, "so I could bully the night auditor to drink water again, and so she could bully me if I tried to become a hallway at 2 a.m. She also thinks she's funny. She shaved her head. You liked her shoes." "My panic owes her an apology," I said for the second time in as many months. "It owes you one too," she said, and kissed the line between my eyebrows the way you iron a shirt. We made another rule. They are getting silly and they are saving us. If panic needs proof, take its hand to the small room first. I would love to end here. I cannot. The world is bored and petty and it will ping you long after you have learned to laugh at it. Last night my watch tapped again while she stood in the bathroom brushing her teeth. "Astor Residences, Grace. One last note, updated your profile, removed additional guests, adjusted preferences. Soft 1 p.m. light in lobby now named for you." I walked to the door of the bathroom with the screen in my palm. In the mirror, Lena's face was ridiculous with toothpaste, and she still managed to look like the person I would burn buildings for. She spat and rinsed and wiped her mouth with the back of her hand like a child, and then she came to the doorway and put both hands on either side of the frame and made the house smaller. "Storm or quiet?" she asked. "Both," I said, "in a sequence I trust you to design." She stepped into me with the authority of someone whose body has tenure. I set my mouth to her shoulder because that is where gratitude lives on her. The room did its job. The ugly lamp forgot it was ugly. We remembered we are. We stopped before the praise got greedy. We slept with our feet touching and the house refused to take attendance. In the morning, Grace wrote one last thing. "Loved working with you. Lobby sings." "We tuned it," Lena replied, CCing me and no one else, sending our names together into a room that finally deserved them. I made tea. She stole the good mug. We stood at the counter like it's an altar and practiced the only automation I want. You say my name, I answer. We tell the devices to hush, and the front desk learns nothing it can sell.